from the monster blood.
Oh, nice.
So they have also died. They were murdered in the monster blood. They were killed off.
You gotta love those Germans.
Yeah, they were like, this book is not scary enough. We need death. We need the Bama twins.
We need to kill off more people.
How old are these kids? 14, 15? Yeah, they die.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Stein, can you make this book a little more scary? We like our children scared.
Yeah, I guess I can do that. Yeah. Please, make it scarier. We want to get goosebumps.
Fine. The Bamer twins are dead.
Yeah. They're good.
So yeah, they died.
Yeah.
I like that story a little better.
Yeah, it has consequences.
It does have consequences, and you know what, Nick? Those Bamer twins, their lifeless corpses were tossed out of the monster blood, unblinking, crumpled bodies on the floor, but then they started to breathe, and then they ran out of the house. Now,
like a bat out of hell.
Now, if we learned anything about the Bamer twins, is they do not take being ridiculed and harassed and made a mockery of lightly. The dog chases them. They come back with a vengeance and beat Evan up. Now, what is going to happen when they are ready, when they come back to win this battle, and Evan is gone to Atlanta? They're going to do some damage to Andy, I think.
No, I think they're not going to want to go near them again.
You picture a world where this happens and the Bamer twins let Andy live?
Yeah, because they don't want. They're like, oh, don't mess with her. Like, fucked up shit'll happen again.
She does want to keep a little bit of that monster blood. Maybe it's because she knows she's going to have to use it on these twins. And they try cramming one last scare into this book with last chapter break. Ooh, figure in the doorway. The witch came back. No, just the mom.
The mother. Come on, you know she was coming back from chapters earlier.
Yeah, and she just missed all the action. The mom and Catherine go into another room to talk about all that's happened.
Not questioning that she can hear suddenly.
No, the mom doesn't find out yet. She hasn't heard this yet. She didn't answer the mom. I think Evan answered the mom. So we missed it. We missed the mom's reaction. I was excited to be like, whoa, Evan's been a good influence on you.
Yeah.
Something amazing. That's the thing. In the last 2 books, we have gotten the adults, like the parents, finding out about the evil goings on in the town, in the basement.
Yeah.
In this one, we kind of got some of it because the aunt knows.
Kids.
But I don't know if the mom's going to believe it.
No, she never will.
Yeah, and as we get later into the series, it's very rare that the parents ever believe them and ever really find out.
Unless they're in on it.
Vampire
breath.
Yeah, and those were the things that really bothered me about the Home Alone series. Is I just wanted so badly for a family member, a parent, to realize all the stuff that Kevin did.
Yeah.
Like, that's so impressive. And they never knew. They never appreciated it.
No.
Now, Andy says, well, I guess you're going forever.
Yeah, okay, bye.
Yeah. Well, he says, I'd like to write to you. And Andy says, my dad also has a phone credit card, so, we could talk to each other on the telephone. What's a telephone credit card? Some 90s thing?
It's got to be, I think it's like a prepaid phone card.
I guess he's out in Atlanta, so it's a little ways away, so they got long-distance charges may apply?
They might apply.
But just wait a couple years.
101-5566.
Kids, the internet is coming.
Yeah, just wait.
Get
on that AOL.
Yeah, you tie up those phone lines in a whole different way. Yeah. They're going to be MSN Messenger friends. She wants the last bit of monster blood as a memento to remember Evan by.
But why would you want it?
Well, she wanted it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And now she gets her way. Well, she doesn't get it in the end because they look down to where it was, and it's gone.
Dun, dun, dun!
The end.
The end.
The end of a masterpiece in memory. But going down, back reading the book, I was not... I
don't know.
I so enthralled
I
by
liked it.
I did, but it wasn't about monster blood.
That's the thing, and it just took a really long time for like the inciting incident and everything to all come into place. And when it did, I won't say I was disappointed, but it broke one of the cardinal rules of horror.
What?
Having more than one thing.
Okay.
The best example I can think of is the 1985 film Reanimator.
Okay.
You're familiar with the
Yes.
film? Yeah. So when the spoilers for Reanimator, but you guys should definitely check it out. It's one of the great 80s horror films. Do you agree, Matthew?
Yes. Yes, I do. Along with Bride of the Reanimator.
Bride of Reanimator is good too. But in Reanimator, at one point, one of the characters is decapitated.
Oh, yeah.
And then he comes back to life, gets the reagent, and then he's able to hypnotize people.
Yeah.
And it's not really explained in, like, the unrated cut, because they cut it all out because, and this is where I'm coming from, is that they figured, well, we've already got people coming back from the dead. If we throw, like, witchcraft and hypnosis in there, you can only really have one thing, and it still be believable to an extent, like suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
And so that's what I kind of felt with this. It's just like, oh, it's this and it's witchcraft, and it's just like, well, all right. It was just too much. Yeah. I would have been okay if it was just like, this monster blood is a thing of its own.
Yeah.
But then they threw in witchcraft, and it kind of diminished it for me. Mm-hmm. I thought, like I said, I thought it could have just been that this monster blood is just a thing of its own.
Yeah, just a can of something that makes things grow.
And, has a mind of its own, turns things into monsters after long enough exposure.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just like cat lady witch, put a spell on it.
Yeah, they did, and then that stuff, it felt like, pun intended, they crammed that in at the witching hour.
Get out.
They did, though. They kind of hinted towards it, but it's not like, it's not a hint that, like, you should take seriously. It's like, yeah, she was a crazy old witch. She's got books on witchcraft, fine. Just to set up at the end, we're going to turn this story around, and it's actually a witch story. Yeah. The monster blood was nothing.
The monster blood is just a toy that had a spell on it.
Yeah, and I'm interested in how this monster blood plays a role in the books going forward.
Yeah,
there's another 3 books.
It's witchcraft again, then it's just like, you got 4 books of just witchcraft.
Yeah, and I mean, the spell was broken.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't really.
Although I'd be okay if Sarah Beth came back.
One of the scariest parts in this to me was just the idea of having this monster blood that kept growing and growing. Not even that it was anything that evil. It was just, what do you do with it?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like the Blob. Like, the Blob wasn't malicious, at least in the original one.
Yeah.
It was just like, consume. It didn't have a mind of its own. It just went for consumption.
I don't know what I found scary about it necessarily, but as a kid, I remember being just like, what are they going to do with it? Once it outgrows a coffee can and a paint bucket and then a bathtub, and what do you do with it? And you split it up amongst your friends. It's just going to keep growing.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's got to be a metaphor for something, but I don't know what.
Did you have any other closing thoughts? What would you rate this book?
Out of what?
Well, out of the 5 G-splat system that we've set up.
Thank you. 1 G-splat being
the worst.
And 5 being
the best.
Oh man, it's going to be a 2.
Really?
2 G-splats for this one.
Because
it was all over the place.
I'm giving it a 3. I mean, yeah, it takes a while to get there, but it's still, I think, the second strongest book so far in the first batch.
Sure. I mean, it's part of the original 3.
Yeah.
When I think of Goosebumps, I think of Monster Blood.
Yeah.
But I don't think of this story of Monster Blood. I do think more about Monster Blood 2, even Monster Blood 3.
Well, kind of like the Mad Max movies.
Yeah, where the stuff you remember isn't really from the first one.
It's not the first one. It's the Road Warrior.
Yeah. Nick, do you want to talk a little bit about this cover? Because we didn't talk about it at the beginning. But what do you think about it? It is a T. Jacobus original.
It is. Doesn't really have anything to do with the story.
Well, that's the thing. He just gets a brief description of what's going on. This is definitely more bloody than I thought it was than the book actually ended up being. Especially given that Monster Blood is just a blob. It's not actually blood. Yeah, because we have it here trickling down the stairs with a set of glasses in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who wore the glasses, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I like the cover. I like the cover way more than the book itself.
It's a good cover.
Yeah.
I like the cover a lot. A little misleading.
But that's a theme in these
a
Goosebumps.
lot of the Goosebumps books covers are like, I mean, once you get to the later ones, they're kind of on point. But yeah, and so I guess that does it for our Monster Blood discussion. And
for now, wait until another 18 issues, or wait until issue 18. We'll get back into Monster Blood.
This is the first book that gets a sequel, right?
Yeah,
and not many did.
No, there's a Night of the Living Dummy.
Night of the Living Dummy. Monster Blood, Night of the Living Dummy.
The Haunted Mask.
And
The Mummy.
The Mummy. There are two Mummy books?
Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, and then another one.
Yeah. And surprisingly, Deep Trouble got a sequel as well.
Oh, Say Cheese and Die Again. You know what? There's actually a lot.
I guess so. So, on the next episode of Nik and Matt Get Goosebumps, every picture tells a story. Say cheese and die. One picture is worth 1,000 screams.
Whoa.
I've got goosebumps already.
I'm excited for that one. My goosebumps are... there's some residual goosebumps from this last one, but my goosebumps are also... They're coming in for the next one. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
So that's going to do it for this episode of Nik and Matt Get Goosebumps. Once again, if you want to write us, send an email to wegotgoosebumps@gmail.com. And until next time, Nick, I'm Matt.
And I'm Nick.
And we got goosebumps. I just hate Evan so much.